You good, Frank? Oh, a couple more. Okay.
We can get started.
You good, Rufus? Okay. Great. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I couldn't be more honored to stand with this incredible group of leaders, community members, and Amari. Antonio, I'm sorry. Keep coming. I'm so sorry. We were all signing the book upstairs. You're good. I couldn't be prouder to stand with this incredible group of leaders and visionaries who are here to serve the city of Boston and to serve everyone in our communities. Welcome, for the first time, to the completed City of Boston Commission on Black Men and Boys. This past February, we launched the Office of Black Male Advancement with our Executive Director and champion, Frank Farrow. We had the honor then of standing alongside fellow leaders in government, organizers, community members who shared stories and experiences of what this office means, not only for them, but for Black men and boys across our city. I'm proud to stand here with many of those leaders, the men who called for and championed this office, who stuck with it for 8 years until it was truly created. We're especially proud to be here on this day, Malcolm X's birthday, and this office carries on his legacy and the legacy of so many Black activists who dedicated their lives to justice, no matter the cost. Today I'm excited to announce that these 21 members of the Black Men and Boys Commission are now officially sworn in. 7 members of the Commission appointed specifically for their expertise on issues facing our communities. 7 members selected from recommendations by the Boston City Council. 7 members appointed from an open application process that came with hundreds of applicants and leaders from our community who we will make sure, as this group had said earlier, are engaged and part of this process as well. But all 21 of these members are here because of their commitment and demonstrated leadership in uplifting, celebrating, supporting community, and making sure we keep moving forward. This commission will first and foremost be community-grounded and community-oriented. To ensure Black men and boys have a voice throughout our government, they'll collaborate with every city agency and department, as well as with our partners at the state and federal levels. They'll design and promote programs that supplement the city's existing work, which we will fund. I've heard that loud and clear, which we will fund. Whether it's not today. Whether it's around immigration and national origin, sexual or gender identity, mental or physical health, violence prevention, employment, wealth building, everything this commission does will reflect the unique and diverse needs of our Black men and boys. And that's why all commission meetings will be open to the public and to the press. They'll take place at the Bruce Bowling Building in Nubian Square on the first Wednesday of every month, starting June 1st. From July through August, the Commission will also engage in a community listening tour to hear firsthand about the issues that Boston's Black men and boys want addressed. Our service to the community must be rooted in community. I am so excited and grateful, looking forward to this Commission's service and to seeing all the ways in which the possibilities we're creating today cannot even be imagined right now, but that we will work diligently, with joy, with tenacity, and with passion to make sure come to life as well. So I'm excited to pass it over to the Executive Director of our Office of Black Male Advancement, Frank Farrow.
Thank you, Mayor Wu. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. Today, on Malcolm X Day at City Hall, for this historic announcement of the Commission on Black Men and Boys. I would like to start off acknowledging and honoring the life and legacy of Malcolm X on his 97th birthday. Malcolm X was a black man rooted in Roxbury, a civil rights leader, advocate for black empowerment, and his influences continue to this day. I want to thank former Councilor Tito Jackson, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, and Mayor Wu for recognizing the numerous contributions to black history, humanity in Boston, and in 2017 declaring May 19 Malcolm X Day in the city of Boston. On this day, we are here announcing the 21 members of the Black Men and Boys Commission, an 8-year-long battle to make a reality. I want to thank the initial brothers that started the fight and everyone that joined in the fight, and Mayor Wu, then Mayor Kim Janey, and everyone. Give a special shout out to Councilor Julia Mejia for making this a reality. The Black Men and Boys Commission is crucial in ensuring the city policies, programs, and resources align with Mayor Wu's vision for an equitable Boston. I'm excited to work alongside the Commission to make sure that we move the lives and outcomes for black men and boys in the city of Boston forward, and then we encourage the community to join us in this work. There's only 21 commission members, but there's plenty of work for everybody, and it's going to be collaborative, collective work, and we are going to move and advance the lives of the black men and boys in the city. We are officially, this week marks our first 100 days as the Office of Black Male Advancement. And I just want to acknowledge that we went through a rigorous application process where we had 305 applicants to be on this commission. And our goal is to continue to work with everyone and pull everyone in that applied, because there's a place for you on this commission. And we're going to continue to engage with you. We're also announcing a few new hires for our office. Isaac Yablo, who's the Policy and Research Director for the Office of Black Male Advancement. J. Sean Gant, who will be the My Brother's Keeper Program Manager, and Dante Peoples, who will be the Community Engagement Manager for the Office of Black Male Advancement. Since getting started, we held several job fairs, 2 within the city where we had over 250 black men participate. We partnered with Mass Hire on another one where we had almost 100 black men participate, looking for jobs and making sure we're connecting them to upward mobility in the city of Boston. We partnered with UMass Boston on an MBK fellowship, where young men from UMass Boston went into our local BPS schools and mentored young students. So we're proud that that was a successful partnership and initial pilot, and we look forward to continue work with them. Especially acknowledge Professor Dr. Cooper, who's joining us today. We'd like to also announce that we are announcing today that we have $75,000 in small grants that we're going to be awarding to community-based organizations that are doing work with black men and boys in this city. And we look forward to continuing this work. I also want to acknowledge Councilor Mejia, who just joined us, again, for making this a reality. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. We have Councilor Brian Worrell, who's going to come up next to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Just want to go ahead and thank Mayor Wu, Mayor Janey, Councilor Mejia, Councilor Jackson, and all the advocates for making this day possible. From Buffalo to Boston, black people are tired. Tired of headline after headline showing senseless violence driven by white supremacy and guns in our streets. Seeing widening divides around public health and public education, and seeing their pain in the deeply entrenched legacy of racism our country was built on ignored. I hope that today we can write a different kind of headline in Boston. People want to see change, be a part of change, and feel that change. The change we seek will only happen when we invest time, trust, and resources into proven models that create change and put leaders in the room that are connected to the communities that will be most impacted. So let our friends, families, and neighbors see that 21 black men in Boston are committed to working together to help advance our communities. As the only black man currently on the council and one that represents a district, the district I grew up in, with some of the most vibrant black communities in our city, I carry the stories and struggles of black residents everywhere I go. I will continue to use every tool at my disposal to fight to close the disparities black residents face in our city every day. From my black and brown economic empowerment agenda and addressing the affordability crisis to closing persistent gaps in our public schools and budget allocations. I'm looking forward to working alongside the incredible experts, community leaders, and advocates on this commission that represent so many facets of our black community to introduce policy recommendations and initiatives that will forever change the lives of black men and boys here in Boston. I'm grateful to the fellow changemakers on this commission for answering a call to serve. The late, great Malcolm X said, "When I is replaced with we, even illness becomes wellness." We are the city of Boston, and we are ready to do this work. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Tito Jackson, brother.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask Julia Mejia, City Councilor at Large, to come up here. You don't get to... You didn't stand in the back on this one, so you're not going to stand in the back as we celebrate that. 8 years ago, actually, you know what? Let me start with a Malcolm X quote. He said, "If you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing." And I want to start there and tell this story about how we got here. And the fact that we should have been making this announcement 8 years ago when this passed the Boston City Council unanimously. But today, we get to stand joyously with all of these brothers, and this is only a small number of the brothers who participated. There were 700 black men and community members who participated in our hearings the first go-round, in addition to the over 305. So as we see black men painted as being absent and not in our community, I want you to take a look at the strong black men who are behind me, and by the way, who are behind this effort. I want you also to take a look at the leadership that we have in the city right now. Props to the lead sponsor, Julia Mejia, who promised me and a bunch of us here that she would take this up when she got in office and get it passed. And props to the Boston City Council who also passed this. And also props to a mayor who not only, we had Mayor Janey, let's give it Mayor Janey who signed it in, but Mayor Wu who's proposing over $1.2 million to actually fund it. And also who hired our brother, one of the baddest brothers that we have in the city of Boston, Frank Farrow, to actually run this office. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is an interesting day. I shared with the brothers earlier. Ironically, I went to the ophthalmologist this morning, and I was crying upstairs a little bit. And initially, I thought it obviously was because my eyes are dilated. But those tears are tears of joy for where we have come to, coming together as a strong group, where we are as a city of Boston, where yesterday, for the first time in history, and the largest contract that's non-construction was allocated to a black-owned business run by a black man called City Fresh Foods, and over $17 million is being allocated so our kids can have fresh food versus the food that was getting trucked in from Pennsylvania. And so we are headed in the right direction. I would just leave you with letting each of you know, when I first pushed this legislation, I was an elected official. But in all honesty, that never really mattered. None of us need a title to do the work. And so we only stand here as 21 representatives of a community that has seen black men be the canary in the tunnel. As goes black men, as goes the length of their lives, the outcomes, the education, the health of black men will go the city of Boston. And so it is absolutely critical, because there's going to be folks who ask, why black men? Yeah, we know that that's happening right now. Why black men? Because we are the men who've built this country, built this city, and we will be the men who are restored back into our neighborhoods, back into our communities, and back into our families to uplift them. Thank you, Mayor Wu. Thank you to this amazing group of men that are behind me. Onward and upward. I leave you in the words of one of the most famous black men in our history in Boston, Frederick Douglass. We are one, our cause is one, and we must work together if we are to succeed. Thank you.
Councilor Mejia, if you want to say a few words. No?
So I didn't come here to hog up the mic, but this is not my moment. This is your moment. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of it. I am looking forward to not only fighting, right, and making sure that we increase that budget, right, because the work is hard to do, and we're going to need to increase those coins so that you all can make it happen. And you know that I am here for all of it. So I just want to say congratulations. I'm here to really step to the side and let my brother, Councilor Worrell, lead, because that's what we do, is we step to the side and create space for those who are living the realities and doing the work to step into their power. So that's what I'm about to do, is step to the side.
Thank you. So with this commission, we actually have, thanks to Councilor Mejia and the ordinance, 2 youth members. So one of our youth members, Abdullah Beckett, is going to speak next.
Good morning, everyone. I want to give a special thank you to Frank Farrow, Julia Mejia, thank you, and Mayor Wu. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be surrounded by so many amazing black men, so many inspiring black men, so many black men that have been doing this work for years before I was born. I am from Roxbury. I grew up near Humboldt Ave. If you know that area, it's not a great area. I'm an alumni of Boston Public Schools, and in about 8 days, I'll be an alumni of the University of Massachusetts, Boston. While at UMass Boston, I've been blessed to be put in a few leadership roles. One of them is the Vice President of the NAACP at UMass Boston, where we advocate and educate our communities around the issues and the struggles of our community of people of color. I'm also the president of My Brother's Keeper at UMass Boston, which has been one of the most fulfilling duties I've ever had. Being able to mentor young children that I saw myself in when I was their age, getting mentorship from others, being put in position to see these men that look like me, that are doing things that about 10 years ago I never dreamed of. It's amazing. I'm so excited to be part of this. I'm so honored. I'm gonna keep it short, but you know, one thing that I've realized is that excellence is all around us in our communities, but no one can do it alone. We all need support. We all need somebody to be there and say, I believe in you, but not just believe, put their money where their mouth is. And the city of Boston is putting their money where their mouth is, and we're gonna make sure that it goes to where it needs to be going to. We are change makers. We are going to make sure the next generation and this current generation of black men in the city of Boston feel secure, feel loved, and feel supported. Thank you.
I want to also acknowledge our other youth member, Sean Perryman, student at Tech Boston. In closing, I want to thank Mayor Wu for advancing this critical work. Thank you to the members of the commission for stepping up and owning this work that is dealing with these inequities that we've been dealing with for generation after generation. It's a lot of work to do, and I look forward to working with everyone. I'm grateful for everyone who are joining us for this announcement, and I encourage all residents to join us in this process. We're going to be working with every city department.
Say it again.
And I also want to thank our steering committee, which was made up of black men in leadership within the city of Boston, who's going to be with us along this journey and helping guide us, steer us, and work with us to make sure that we are actually improving outcomes for black men and boys in the city of Boston. So again, thank you everyone for joining us. Today starts day one of the commission, but these men have been doing the work long before a commission was ever thought of. So to the future, thank you. Special shout out, acknowledge Ms. Harris, who raised a lot of the young men up here today. We appreciate you for everything you've done for us, pouring into our lives. Without you, a lot of us wouldn't be where we are today. To be able to give back and pour into our community and make sure that the next generation has every opportunity that we had coming up. So thank you.
Oh, a picture? Okay.
I almost want to cry. Yes, I know. I know.
Oh, I'll call it.
My fault, brother.